So the last few days my Webasto Air 2000 STC hasn't been working properly. It's been starts sometimes it won't, and it's leaving diesel puddle underneath on the floor where the truck is parked. And the reason for this is it's getting diesel, but the glow plug is almost certainly not able to do its job properly. Now I believe it's working correctly, but it's just coked up and it's just not able to do its job. So I removed the heater and I'm just going to strip it down and clean it out, which I think is quite a common complaint really, and it's a really easy thing to fix. You don't need a Webasto service technician to do this, so I want to show you how to do it. So this is how my heater has come out. It's installed onto an aluminium plate and then screwed down to the floor, and then there's glue around it just as a gasket to stop any fumes coming up. Okay, so first thing we need to do, we need to take this plate off. To do that we're just going to need some spanners, remove the exhaust in the inlet. So we're going to do that now. Knife. Probably not ideal tool to use, to be honest. I don't recommend using Stanley knives like I have. Right, that's that popped off. Okay, with those off, put them to one side. And while you're here, you can take the opportunity to give it a good service, remove any dust and crap. Next we need to remove the rest of the housing. We'll take off this rubber seal. And this housing just falls away. So this is essentially your heater. Now fuel comes in here into a combustion chamber and it is pumped onto the back of a gauze. Now that gauze has got a glow plug running through it. That glow plug heats up to the temperature in which the diesel starts to combust. The diesel is continuously pumped onto the back of that gauze, and that gauze will glow red hot. And obviously you've got air being blown through the heater, so it's like a little furnace. And so that's your combustion chamber inside here, and then that makes this chamber very hot. And we've got these fins. There's a huge surface area of aluminium here. So this fan then sucks air in from your cabin, blows it over all these cooling fins, and then out the other side. And that's where your heat comes from. So your combustion chamber and the internal airflow system are completely separated. So in theory, there's no way you should be getting any exhaust fumes in your truck unless they're coming from the outside. However, I have experienced just once, I had an exhaust leak inside, and this was potentially due to the extreme environment I was in. It was very cold outside, I'm estimating about -45 because my coolant froze that night. And I think this heater just couldn't cope with the temperature differential, taking the cold air in from outside to burn, and then the hot air, making this hot. I think the gas kit just gave up, just couldn't take the differential in temperature. Now with Webasto they say these are good to -40, and so to be fair I was pushing it to -45. Normally the fuel is what gives up before the heater, but I had modified my system so the fuel could keep getting to the heater. But anyway, that is an extreme case. In most cases you're not going to have that sort of problem. You're going to experience a problem like I have now, which is it's coked up. Now, this stage you now need some tools. I'm going to remove the fan, that's easy to do. I've got this little pin here. You need to very gently open this up. You can see that there. Very gently so you don't break the fan. And then we'll try it with our fingers. Now we're going to need a tool, a screwdriver. Nice large flat-headed screwdriver. Put it in there. Very gently twist it, and that fan comes off. So the next job you need to do is to take off this electrical housing that houses the electronics. The only reason for this is to get access to the screws below it. You're going to need some Torx bits for this. That's like a kind of a star shaped part. Now I don't have all the Torx bits I need. The set I've got is in the truck, so I'm going to be using a bit of an odd mixture of these driven by the impact driver and some other little bits I've got just because that's what I happen to have with me. There's one more down there. Now I suggest we need to start unplugging some electronics. We need to start unplugging these. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 plugs. Now I suggest you take a photograph to remember exactly where each plug goes where. Some of them you can't get wrong, but some of them you can. So we're going to unplug these so we can get down to the screw we need to unscrew. Plug that last one. Right, so that's the electronics out. Now I suggest if you take the screws out, put the screws back in the holes they came from, so you can't lose them, and then you know where they go as well. Next we're going to split the actual heater. There's a joint here. Again, it's some Torx bolts. These around the perimeter here. It's a different size. On this corner here, you've got an earth wire going through this screw, so just remember to reconnect that. The earth wire connects to here. Okay, so that's should be able to split this out now. Move this blue wire. And the yellow one that goes to the glow plug. Right, this should come apart. Right, so this side is your, obviously, the fan for heating, and then you've got your internal combustion fan. This is inside your heater. Then you've got your fuel line coming in here. We need to remove this to get to the gauze, which I believe is going to be the problem. So we've got some more screws to undo here. And this is quite a lot of diesel inside this, because the glow plug's unable to start the combustion, so your diesel is just sitting in here unburnt. Remove this gasket carefully because we can reuse that. So your fuel pipe goes through a gasket, a rubber seal here, so we're going to need to gently lift that out of there. As we extract the burner, we need to pull this fuel line out at the same time. Now I just put a pair of pliers on this little bit of steel here. You have to be very careful because there's not a lot to it. You could break it quite easily, so be very gentle. So that fuel line is now, fuel pipe's now free. Now your glow plug connection wire, we need to push it through this grommet here so we can extract the burner. And you're also going to have a problem with this. Try and pop that out without bending your pipe. Be a little bit rough with it, but obviously be gentle at the same time. That's that done. Right, that's the burner extracted. You can see inside your burner. I'll try and show you a better picture of that. So the combustion chamber is relatively clean, to be honest, other than the diesel in there. Right, I'm now going to disconnect the glow plug. To do that, it's just a small grub screw in here. Need an Allen key for that. It's a 2mm Allen key. Now we're going to just nip that back up just so it doesn't fall out and we lose it. So maybe again, I'm looking at the burner now. Bit of a mess. So we're going to take off this barrel, and it's crimped on down the bottom. Just going to prise these open a little bit, remove this barrel, and I do have spare gauze, so I might replace it. Just see how bad it is. Okay, barrel removed. There's quite a lot of build up on there. It's quite diesely, I think. Maybe the best thing to do is possibly try and burn that off. There's a little cap which holds the gauze on. I'm just removing that now. There we go. So this slot here is where your glow plug comes in. So the cleaner that is, the better it is for your glow plug. Now if you're going to clean one of these, you need to be gentle because you can damage it. They're about, I did buy one, I think it was about £15–20 to buy one. I do carry a spare, but I do like to fix things really about replacing them. So if we can clean this up and get it working again, I think that's what we're going to do. But now that's what I did last time. I may be making myself more work. You may be replacing it. It's going to give me a longer term usage before I have to take it apart again. And we're gonna, as we work, we're going to clean everything up because it's all diesely. As I've said, it's been pumping diesel in but not combusting. As I may have said, it's the second time I've had to do this, and to be honest, I'm surprised how little use I feel I've got out of it before having to do it. Now if you burn it hot continuously, it's going to do a better job of combustion. You're going to have less carbon build-up. If your thermostat sets so it's coming in and out, you're more likely to be getting this build up. So I decided the best thing to do is to go and get the spare gauze I've got and install this, and then I would use this old one I have to clean this up and put this in the stores. Now you can get them working by cleaning this up, so if you're on a tight spot and you need it to go and get this. But I do recommend get yourself a new one, put in your spares kit, so when the time comes to do this, put the new one in, and you'll probably get a bit more life out of the new one before having to remove the heater and clean it again. So having two is probably ideal. Now I've just set fire to this one because it was saturated in diesel, just to help clean it up, so I'm putting to store it. I need to remove this from this cap, little housing, and then I can install this one. So new gauze installed into this little housing, and we start to reassemble. Fitted the gauze back in, and this burner housing back on. So just need to fold these pieces of steel back round to secure it. Always be very careful when pushing a screwdriver towards your own hand. It's very likely you're going to stab yourself. So that's your burner. Only thing missing now is the glow plug. So I'm going to reinsert. Time to insert the glow plug, because I'm going to back off the grub screw which we did up tight so it didn't fall out. Just push that glow plug in there. I'm going to push it as far as you can till you can see it appear in that hole there in the gauze. And once it's in there, you can tighten that up. Not too tight, just that's it. It's time to reassemble. So as we put the burner back in, we'll pull the glow plug. We want this glow plug wire to come through this slot here. See the slot there. Maybe the orientation of the glow plug is incorrect, because it's not naturally wanting to come to that slot, so we're going to loosen it off and rotate it. This is to protect the wire from the heat of the combustion chamber. That's probably better. Now I'm going to check that the glow plug is in the correct place again. Yes, it is. So you just didn't see what I did there. The connections for the glow plug here. There's a slit in this steel housing, steel plate. You want these wires to come through here so they're protected, because everything on this side gets hot as the combustion chamber. So when you reinsert your glow plug, you're going to get the orientation of the wire connection right, so that it comes through this slot. And as you push this burner back in, slowly pull the glow plug wires through this rubber grommet. Now I've made a mistake here. This rubber seal is in the wrong direction, wrong orientation. When your radius needs to be down towards the bottom. So if you're having problems getting it in, it's because your orientation is incorrect. Now as you take this apart, I recommend you take lots of photos, because you're going to come to this bit with there's 4 bolts to put the burner back in, and this little metal piece here, and you're going to wonder to yourself, where did that go? So if you take lots of photos as you do it, or even this video, you can go back, if you look at this video or look at your photos and see where everything goes. So I'm going to put these back in. I'm not doing them up tight yet, just getting them in to help get this housing in a correct location. He's rotating about 3 or 4 degrees. This little metal clamp is to help hold this wiring harness out of the way. Last one, and we'll do it up tight. So this is back in. Now I'm not going to do these up tight with the little impact driver because I could over tighten them. It's unlikely because I could over tighten them. So we're going to do them up by hand. To be honest, the impact driver, as gentle as I was, it's already done. Better job than I could with my hand. Alright, next job is to install the gasket. Before we do so, I'm going to give it a little clean. Right, you can't get this wrong. There's only one way it goes, and it's obvious by its shape. We want to spread out fuel pump connection, and the inlet manifold, or the inlet air inlet pipe. Right, now we just put the bolts in, just to get everything in the right location. Don't forget to reconnect this wire here. Last one. Okay, put that back on. Next job is to reinstall the electronics. Now I've obviously got this shape here to show you where they should go, and you've got this cut out here which is for the air intake. So okay, it's done. There's a couple more screws to put this housing back on, one which I've forgotten to do. Time for the electrical connections. You have to remember where they went, or refer to a photograph you took, or in my video. So make sure your connection's back in the right place if you're using my video, or take a photograph. Now it may be impossible to put them in the wrong place. They all do, from what I've noticed, some of them are different from the others. So maybe Webasto have made it impossible to get it wrong. However, I do know someone that did connect it wrong. Whether they managed to get a plug in the wrong place or they put it in and it just wasn't actually pushed home, I don't know. But it saves you a lot of hassle if you get them in the right place the first time. So that's essentially been reassembled fundamentally. A few small jobs left to do. Put this rubber seal back on. A quick clean before we do. So you've got your fuel pipe. Make sure there's a little hole for the fuel pipe. So make sure you align it. You can't get it wrong. And then the last job before putting the housing back on is to clip this fanner clean, and then that just pops on. And put the fan on. There's a right way to do it. There's a flat on this shaft. You need to line the flat up of the fan, and then just push it on. It just clips onto that. That's it, done. Only thing to do is put the housing on. That is really simple. So I'll start at the bottom. Done that wrong. So the rubber actually goes on last. Fit the housing first. Then fit the rubber last. Okay, with that on, you can then install the top. Again, just remove any dust. Keep your heater working efficiently. So this whole open area is going to go above the electronics, so you can connect your cables up. Okay, so let's hold that in place. Then you can, that seems to be, pop that on, and then that of course the front. I don't think it seems to matter, it doesn't matter which way you go. So on the top you have a larger lug. It's a larger lug on the top, so you want to get the larger holes lined up. Right, that's that. Clean, reassembled, ready to go back in. Only thing you've left to do is connect up the exhaust inlet, and then we can go and install it in the truck. Just need to fit these now, and we're ready to unback and put it in the truck. So the heater is reinstalled, and the first time up and running, producing heat. So it was just a matter of cleaning out the gauze or replacing the gauze. The glow plug is just struggles to do its job when it's all covered in carbon. Heater's working, it's nice and hot as it should be.